This is a 2025 Ram 2500 Rebel, and it's probably the most controversial Ram of 2025. I borrowed it from Larry H. Miller, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see options and features on this build. At the very top is the description. Base price comes in at $68,645. And down below is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause to see more. Starting off the options is that granite crystal paint, $295. Fifth wheel and gooseneck prep is $545. Tomo digital rearview mirror package is $1135. Rebel level 1 equipment group is $2495. And you have to take note of what comes in there because a lot of features get added. As far as the instrument panel, auxiliary switches, $245. You have the cargo view camera, $345, and then you have the VSI amp for $345. Destination comes in at $2,095 with a total price of $76,145. So let's jump into it. Why is this the most controversial truck for the HD segment for Ram? Oh, there it is. It's this grill. Everyone is talking about this grill and how they don't like it. So here's my 2 cents. It's a truck. Trucks aren't supposed to be pretty. And this is something I've never seen before. I like unique things, and this is definitely unique for sure. You have those vertical lines, you have the horizontal lines, and I think it looks different for sure. I'm not going to say it's the best design I've ever seen, but it's definitely different for sure. They black out Ram. You probably could tell it looks like there's a camera on the front end, but nope, just a block off plate right here. Adaptive cruise control comes standard. You have front parking sensors, black recovery hooks, and you could probably see through this grill here, there is literally no skid plates. Yes, on these trucks they do not add skid plates on the front end, and maybe it's because of the solid front axle, but I like a little bit of protection for like splash too when you go off-road. Makes a big difference for cleanup for sure. Now that Sport Performance hood is an option. They do not use the hood scoop right here. It is blocked off. And then on the side here you have these heat extractors. But it does change the whole design when you get that Sport Performance hood. They do black out that front bumper as well. And then here's a quick peek at your suspension. You can see you have some blue, which means you have the Bilstein shocks there. And they do give you a plastic liner in there too. And then here are your tires. These are the exact same tires as last year. Goodyear Wrangler Dirt Track LT 285/60/20. And you might be wondering, is that the exact same size as the regular Rams with the 20-inch wheels? Yes, it's the exact same size. Don't know why they did that. They should have just went to like a 34.1, which would be like a 285/65, and it would have just looked a little bit more meaner. But hey, you know, it is what it is. 20-inch wheel, has that machine outer part, has a matted finish on the face of it, and 33.5-inch tall tire, 11.2 inches wide, I believe. And in case you care to see the capacity, 3,640 pounds per tire at 80 psi cold. Load range E, 3 peak, and made in the USA. Here's a nice side view. Yeah, that looks good. You have the black down below. I'm going to put it in the sun here in a second, but I figured while it's still nice and cool outside, I keep it in the shade for myself. Keep me comfortable too, right? Now these lights, I believe, are an option on this truck. Those rock rails are an option too. They come part of that equipment group that you saw. You have a skid plate for your transfer case, and they give you, oh okay, they give you one for the fuel tank too. I don't think I've ever seen one for a Ram truck. At least I don't remember. They do add these rock rails on the side of the cab, and they do kind of give you a step, not really. This is the only configuration. So you have the standard bed here, 31-gallon fuel tank, and I didn't mention yet, this is a HEMI. They give you a liner in the rear. Out back you have the full LED tail lights, license plate lights. And it's a good looking truck. Rebel badge. You have your camera input here for your rear view mirror. You have a 7 and 4 pin, class 5 hitch, parking sensors. Truck's gonna have either a 410. I think it might come standard with just a 410. I'll check in a second. But come on, Ram, when you have an off-road truck, you gotta do us a favor and just give us a off-road wheel and tire that matches. I like to see a matcher. It's gonna have a locker too in this truck too. And there is a light for your trailer at nighttime when you go to hook up. And this is the first truck I've seen without that side step here. But yeah, here's your 5th wheel prep package. No bed lights. You have your 7 and 4 pin at 400 watts. Up top there you have 2 cameras. One for bed view, one for your rear view mirror. And here's our side view of the truck. So let's talk about that rear diff for a second, because I assumed it was like the Power Wagon, so it's not. So it does come standard with a 373 in the rear. And if you want the 410 with the HEMI, it is available. Also, it does have an LSD out back, but you do have electronic locker too. With that being said, here is the new HEMI, because they did do an update. I don't know what update they did, but they did an update. This has now 405 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. Not sure why they went down in horsepower. Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that, but it's still port injection, which is good. It has 10-to-1 compression, and they recommend 89 octane, so you don't necessarily have to burn premium on this engine. It is mated to a ZF 8HP 75, which has been behind this HEMI since 2019. You can do a dual alternator setup if you like. I think that personally I would like to see more horsepower and torque out of this engine. It doesn't have to go up a lot for torque, but I think the horsepower should be definitely close to that, like, 450 range, because we know this engine is capable of that. And because there's been some changes with the EPA, they probably can make that happen sometime soon. Here is the door for the interior. You have, I would just call this vinyl, more vinyl here, and you have some nice accent pieces around the interior. Seat memories, they did restyle these buttons here for 2025, so this matches what's in the half tons. Down below, hard plastics. You don't have the premium sound system, although this does have the 9-speaker Alpine, but you don't have the Harman Kardon on this one. As far as the seats go, 10-way seat including lumbar. That leather is an option. So if you get a base Rebel without that equipment group, it would have cloth seats and it would have a 6-passenger. So this center console is an option too. This is wrapped in leather. I'm not sure if this is an option on this truck, but yeah, if you get one without that equipment group, sometimes things like this don't show up as an upgrade, and they just add it on. But yeah, on the top here, more vinyl. They do give you the 12-inch display right there, and then here's some of the controls on the side. And you guys see right there, you have power pedals. Still only a tilt steering wheel. Here's the passenger side. Power seat. And by the way, they do give you perforated leather. Tilt headrests do come standard. They give you a Rebel badge right here. I think they're the only truck in this segment that illuminates this top storage when it's available. Soft open glove box. That's a Ram right there. Out back. Actually, let me take all this stuff out of here. Hold on one second. So you guys can see right here, they still provide these little buckets here that come out. Storage, seat back pockets there. subwoofer, and this does still pop out. There is a little bit of storage below the seat right there, and outboard heated seats, USBs, 115 volt power plug. By the way, this hump is not bad too. Like whenever I've sat back here in my old truck, this never bothered me. They do give you this light when this is down. It does shine on the ground also. You have that armrest, power sliding rear glass with defrost. Let's go ahead and check out the driver's seat. Here's some of your animations on the screens. Now, I did click this button here. Watch what happens. This brings up a quick menu. Come on, there it is. So if you want to get to your navigation, you have full screen navigation over here. Also, you have your vehicle info page that pops up, shows you all your temperatures. I like that they give that to you. That first got put on the Wagoneers, I believe, or maybe the Grand Cherokee L's. I can't remember which one, but one of those got that first. Now on this side, this is your home page. Now I always like to push up here first. If you want to get to your seat controls or your heated steering wheel, you can do it in there very quickly versus having to go down to comfort and then clicking. So that it's just, I feel like that's just a little bit better to get to these settings here. Down below, if you want, you can move things around on the screen. Let's hit vehicle, go to off-road pages. They do give you this. This just shows you that your four-wheel drive is off. Now I just turned it on. Watch what happens to your transfer case. It locks it. Now if you want to turn on the axle lock, you can do so, and it'll lock that rear. You'll see a little lock go on top. There it is. And shows you the altitude, some gauges. Same thing happens when you go over to your tow menu. Here's some information for like temperatures on this side too, light check, and you can set up the trailer, set up the braking, go over the controls. You have your rear camera, and then you have this cargo camera. That looks a little bit worse. Maybe it's a little dirty. It doesn't look that good compared to what I had on my truck from 2019, that is. Settings, a lot of things you can set up on this. You can change the display brightness. There's so much you can do. I mean, I bet you if I took the time, I could probably spend an hour just going through all this stuff. There's so much in here. Now if you push the arrow below the time, you have this too. Shows you the date, the day. I like that. Outside temperatures right next to it. Let's go back to home. If you get lost, you can always go back to home. By the way too, if you consider the phone, this is the only truck that I know of that allows you to do 2 active phones for Apple CarPlay. It's really nice. Now this one has the trailer brake off to the side, tow haul, traction control can be disabled. You have your parking sensors, auxiliary switches right there, 4 USBs, dual chargers. This is something new for 2025. This interior, you probably noticed, is pretty similar to what you saw last year for 2024. The exterior got the biggest updates, really. Great storage. They did remove the USB in this area. Above, you see, you have that camera view for this. Above here, you can drop the tailgate. You have LED interior lights. You can slide that rear glass. HomeLink is an option on this truck. I like the black liner, by the way, too. And then here are your vanities. Let's go ahead and check out the payload on this truck. And that'll pretty much end the video. The front gross axle weight rating is going to be 5,500 pounds. The rear is going to be 6,170. I think that's lower. I thought it was 6,340, but maybe for the Rebel, the rear axle is slightly different. Gross vehicle rating is going to be 10,000 pounds. And you guys see the wheels are 20 by 8 wide. And then, all in payload, 2,768 pounds. Tire pressure out front is 65, the rear is 70. But all in all, I hope you guys liked the video. I think that Ram trucks, this is probably one of the best deals that I've seen so far. If you were to get this without that equipment group, you can get it for under $70,000. Last year, this Rebel had a starting price, I think $11,000 higher, a little over $11,000 higher than this one. And it's probably because of the options that they gave. I think that if you're in the market for a Ram truck, these trucks are still good. The HEMI is a really good engine. As I said, it's port injection, so you know you're gonna get that spray on the intake valves. And it's a good looking truck. I think that with all the incentives, it's definitely worth a look. Be sure to check out Larry H. Miller here in Sandy, Utah. See you guys soon.